Learn how a FedEx worker totally missed the mark, the best thing to focus on in any argument, and how to avoid a life living as an anxiety puppet. Welcome to No Bow Tie, where we conquer emptiness and frustration, discover our uniqueness, and live with unrelenting joy. I'm John No Bow Tie Swoboda, author and musician. Today, we're going to look at how to know and get what you want in life. Be sure to subscribe. When you don't know what you want in life, you can become depleted and have an avalanche of anxiety build up in you because all of the work that you're doing doesn't seem to amount to anything. And it's not that you're not after something. It's just that you're after things that don't add up to creating a better future. And it doesn't add up to giving you a sense of belonging and an expression of who you really are. Life can feel like a tension machine where you set goals and you reach goals, but you're never really finding out or using that unique edge that you have that you once enjoyed at some time in your life. And perhaps it got overlooked, but it gets replaced by all of the quick fix pacifiers that get you through the day, get you through the week, and get you to reach all of the goals that in the end, they don't really describe who you are. And there's nothing more disappointing than working hard to reach goals that are either somebody else's goals or goals that are just required of you. The tension becomes chronic and it affects your work life, your love life, your relationships, the way that you communicate, and how people approach you. It starts to put off a false and negative image of who you want to be and how you're expressing your inner self, the part of you that matters most. As an example, I want to use some stuff that happened with a friend of mine named Carol. She's an employee at FedEx, and instead of wanting promotion, she just kept working for the bonus checks so that she could stash it away because the only thing that really meant something to her was retirement. She was going to get toward retirement. The faster she got there, the better. And then she could start living a real life. She started when she was 25 and now she's 58. She still doesn't really know what she wants to do in life, but she keeps stashing that money away because retirement is the goal. She knows the answer is going to be somewhere in the future when she has all of the money that she wants that can help her get out and discover who she is later. Her pain is in reaching purposes that are unknown. They're not important to her. Only the little result is, not the process or the meaning behind the activity. It's kind of like eating chocolate when you're hungry. It doesn't really nurture the future. It just satisfies the immediate need of getting something sweet to chew on, but it doesn't give the nourishment that's needed for the future. And meanwhile, age starts to set in. So the possibilities of adventure are beginning to close in. When exercising that muscle of creativity gets weaker and weaker because it gets pushed aside more and more, you will strengthen anything that you do, even neglect. When you neglect something, you're going to get better at neglecting it, and the atrophy of those desires will become more. This is happening to her. Does it happen to you? In essence, she's lost while she assumes a direction. Now, Jim is very much the opposite. He's a talented artist. He nurtured, at one time in his life, he really nurtured what he's about from his heart. But as time went on, he too started to know that he was going to do those things tomorrow. An artist with a wonderful style, and really his ideas would denote success in anybody's paradigm, in anybody's point of view. But as his kids grew up and he kept a corporate job, his skills began to wither and fade, the skills that once gave him joy. His victory became memories, not plans. And as he gathered momentum in the corporate world, his definition of worth became comparison with his workers, his neighbors, and sometimes even family members. Happiness became an exertion of power to prove that worth, to define himself. And it had very little to do with his contribution or creativity or the contribution that he was making to himself in his life that he could then express in a joyful manner. Well, as his marriage began to fail, the communication was so tense that he and his wife were both focused on who's right, not what's right. And anytime that you're focused on who's right, there's going to be an ego battle, and it becomes even more destructive than just being yourself, when that self is very often forgotten in the most important situations. And one time he was in tears, and he told me that, and he has given me permission to share this because he wants people to learn from it, that he said, without his wealth and his power, he has forgotten who he is. He went on to tell me that he now envies people that have kept a simple, meaningful life, who have deep connections, even if a few friends, but deep connections with those people where he feels important in a conversation, not necessarily in the profit margin. If you can relate at all to what Jim and Carol are carrying on in their life, you know how meaningful it can be to own your uniqueness and be cultivating your own uniqueness in your life, if even just a portion of the day, but that you have that to hold on to and to grow. That is the most important part, is that you always know you're growing a part of you that's important to you. And with or without the world, you have yourself. It's the greatest desire of all human beings to do something for a purpose that just isn't the grind, that isn't what is expected of you, something that comes from within you. And that purpose, even if small, has a drive of its own. Wherever you're at, you can grow a little bit into a better life. I am excited to have you join me in the next video, where we're going to spell out step-by-step solutions to getting rid of that angst and letting go of that feeling of being paralyzed in life. It's going to be very exciting. And before I go, I want to share with you a video of a time when I found my unique edge. I want you to join me in finding what is in you and propelling that in your life. Enjoy.